Good morning. Welcome to class. We do have one more student joining us, so if you hear a little movement once we begin, just know that that's just another student that's coming into class. But we are going to start seated. I'm doing a little Nadi Shodhana, which is an alternate nostril breath. So nadis are energy pathways, so you can think of like blood vessels that carry blood, but they're invisible and they carry prana. And the purpose of this breath work, Shodhana, which means purification, is to purify those channels. So we'll be doing this alternate nostril breath. You guys, I bet, have all done that. Yeah. So you'll bring your index and your middle finger down into your palm on your right hand. So you just have pinky, ring, and thumb extended. And basically you'll just be using your ring finger on your left nostril, your thumb on your right nostril as we go back and forth. We only switch for the out breath. So you'll stay put when you're breathing in, but when you breathe out, you always switch, and you always stay to breathe in and you switch to breathe out. I'll guide you through the first few rounds, and then I'll leave you to just move with the breath. We'll just be doing it for a few minutes. So go ahead and bring your left nostril closed with your right ring finger. And let's take like a 4-count inhale to start. So breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4. And like I said, we switch to exhale. So hold your right nostril closed and just breathe out 4, 3, 2, 1. And then in through the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. And switch to exhale through the right, 4, 3, 2, 1. And continue on your own now. Maybe you stay with a 4-count. Maybe you need a longer time to find a full inhale. There's no wrong way to do this. Just breathing in, switching for the out breath, and breathing out. So now that you've kind of got the breathing down, you can start to think about the pathway of the breath. So as you breathe in, it moves from one nostril to the third eye. And then when you breathe out, it moves from the third eye out through the opposite nostril. And then you breathe in through that nostril to the third eye, and you breathe back out. If you want, I've seen this practice this way, extending your middle finger up to rest right at the third eye. And so you can even have that tangible experience, that feedback of your finger resting at your third eye. And we've just got another minute here. No hurries, no worries, just allow that breath to flow in and out. You might notice that one of your nostrils is a little more open than the other. what's really interesting is that if your right nostril is more open, that's going to be your dominant nostril right now, which means that you are more left-brained at this moment. You're more in your masculine, you're more in your yang, you're more in your analytical thinking. If your left nostril is more open, you're more left nostril dominant, so you are right-brained in this moment, which means you're more in your feminine, more yin energy, more abstract thinking, more intuitive. What the yogis claim and Ayurvedic claims is that the dominant nostril in a healthy, balanced body actually switches every 90 minutes. But because a lot of us carry a lot of imbalances, we tend to be more dominant on one side or the other. So you can start to pay attention to that. Finish whatever out-breath you're on right now. Return your hands to your knees, close your eyes. Breathing through both nostrils. Notice if you feel any subtle differences in your energy, in your mental state, in your psyche, in the feeling tone of your body. So as you know, you have embarked on a yin yoga practice, so we're about to move into our first yin shape. And these yin shapes are going to be held for 3 to 4 minutes today. I will be keeping track by watching a timer, so it's a reliable 3 to 4 minutes. And the first shape is going to be a child's pose. So if you have a blanket, it can be a nice little add-on. It's not necessary by any means, but just a little extra support for the knees and the shins. You might open your blanket wide to support your legs. And then start to crawl the arms out. Your knees can go wide or narrow, whatever feels better in your body. Big toes together. You can also bring bolsters or pillows underneath your chest or blocks under your foreheads if you want as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start this timer. You don't have to worry about anything except just being present. Releasing your body down into the mat. I'll let you know when we're about halfway in case you want to make any small adjustments. In yin, you always want to feel that you're having some kind of sensation, and it can be very subtle. Scan through the body and know that the stretch we're looking for is a stretch in the connective tissues. Connective tissues are dense, much denser than muscle or skin, and so it takes a little extra time to affect those tissues. So when we stay in these shapes longer, we're able to really target areas deeper within the body, that fascia. It's like a film that encloses all of your muscles and ties them all together. You can think of an orange, a quarter of an orange, even each little slice is wrapped with this kind of see-through whitish skin. That is pretty close to what your fascia is like. And we're trying to bring that fascia out of a more crystallized state into a more fluid, lubricated state. And that's what we're doing here in our yin practice. You are about halfway there. If there's anything you'd like to adjust or modify, feel free to. a deep, full breath in. And out. Perfect. From here, turn your palms down and slowly, slowly begin to rise, bringing yourselves all the way to kneeling. So you'll sit onto your heels in your hero's pose, eyes remaining closed. Palms on your thighs. Just treat this as a little pause between the shapes to feel the shift of energy. And while you hold this hero's pose, take a very slow neck circle. Super slow, like you've been set in slow motion now. Slower than maybe your mind or your ego even wants to move. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And if you haven't completed a circle the other way yet, go ahead and slowly move your head around the other direction. Paying attention to the little pockets of tension around the shoulders or in the neck. And bringing your head back to neutral and shifting yourself forward to your hands and your knees, finding tabletop pose. We'll press briefly into a down dog just as an entry to swan. So enjoy this moment. Not really a traditional yin shape, but it feels so good in the body to just stretch from your fingertips out through your sitting bones and down through your heels. And then reach the right leg towards the ceiling with a breath in. And sweep your right shin forward behind your wrists on the breath out. Again, you can use props any way that it serves you. Take a moment to get situated. And I'll start that 4-minute timer now. Don't be afraid to prop a lot in the beginning, because since you're here for a while, you can start removing the props little by little as the time progresses. Let go of any tension that you're holding on to around your shoulders and your neck, and send that breath deep into your belly. Meet any discomfort with a longer, fuller breath, remembering that discomfort can make the body feel a little panicky, and that tends to shorten the breath. So if you're feeling any kind of discomfort, try to meet it with full, deep breaths on purpose, sending signals to your nervous system and doing that it's okay to be calm, that everything is fine. Your body will calm down and relax, giving you even more space. And then keep scanning your body, looking for any places you might be holding tension. So maybe gripping in the fingers or the face, the jaw. halfway there already. Just continue to soften. Start to lift yourself very slow. Take your time. Once you're up, you can tuck those back toes if you like, taking it back to a down dog. Push into the hands. Step back and just stretch down through both heels. Getting super long in the body. And then switching sides, take your left leg to the sky and bring your left shin forward behind your wrists. Remembering that one side might be much different for you. So taking it slow, listening to your body. We'll start that timer. 4 minutes, just like the other side, starting now. Remember to prop as much as you want to. Try to remain completely still. That's the goal here. We're trying to sort of undo the habitual fidgets and distractions. Just be very still and follow your breath. But at about that halfway mark, I'll let you know when that happens. If you want to take some adjustments, you can. Take your time, tuck those back toes, stretch back into your down dogs. Oh, let that energy flow. I mentioned nadis in the beginning of practice. We are continuing to purify those energy pathways with each of these longer holds as well. So just let the energy of your lower body clear and cleanse. When you're ready to, drop your knees, maybe to a blanket, maybe to the floor. Tuck all 10 toes under. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a 4-minute hold. We're going to go into broken toe, but we're only going to be here for 1 full minute, which is plenty of time in my opinion. So sit back on your toes. Place your hands onto your knees, close your eyes, and just breathe. Opening up the energy pathways of the root chakra, which helps us to feel grounded and stable, energetically, belonging. Physically, you're stretching out, obviously, the arches of your feet, any tension or tightness from your toes. But the stretch does have a ripple effect up the entire posterior chain of your body. So ankles, Achilles, calves, hamstrings, glutes, even up the spine, low back, mid back. There's our timer. That wasn't so bad. Go ahead and release back down to your hands. Walk forward and release your toes back. Next shape is our hero's pose. So you could take this hero's pose with a block between your feet if you need that, or you can sit down between your heels. And if you need to sit on a block, maybe that's how you start. And then as your quads and the connective tissues around your knees, shins, and feet start to open, you might remove the block and start sitting between your feet. Or if you're someone with a little more flexibility, you can recline back to any degree that makes sense in your body over the course of the next 4 minutes. So we've already begun that timer. Listen to your body, knowing that you have plenty of time to progress, remembering the body doesn't like to be forced, it likes to be coaxed open. And if you have your breath, you have the yoga, so just keep breathing. BKS Iyengar, who was one of our wise yogis of history, he actually says that, in his opinion, you should do this pose for 15 minutes every single day. So if you're worried about 4, maybe that helps to shift your perspective a bit. For those of you that have decided to recline, remember that you want to tuck your pelvis under at the later stages of this pose. So you went from sitting directly on the sits bones to now being on your back. You want those sitting bones pointing forward, your tailbone lengthening between the knees, and space in your low back. So feel free to use your hands on your hips or just lift your hips slightly, lengthen your tailbone forward, and then relax back down. 30 seconds remain. And as with all yoga, yin shapes, you want to come out slow, but especially this one, you don't want to crank the neck or hurt the shoulders. So just slowly, slowly rise. Might feel a little creaky after this one. Bring yourself forward to your hands. Gently start to pick up those hips. Walk out to table pose. And I really love a counter into down dog after this. It just takes all the lower body joints the other direction. So if you want to move into that slow, you can. If you prefer some simple cat-cow movements, you can do that too. When you're ready to return to your knees, come down, and we're going to sit on our mats for a wide-legged forward fold prep. We have a lot of room today, so you can just stay facing forward, but if you like to have your body on your yoga mat, you can always turn to the left and take the wide legs. Otherwise, just split the legs to a comfortable distance. Take your palms to the tops of your thighs, kind of just go back and forth a few times. I'm going to anchor the thigh bones down into the lower portion of their hip sockets. Get them nice and grounded there. And then once you're ready to, you can start to bring the hands out. Maybe there's a bolster under your chest. Maybe there's some blocks. Maybe there's nothing. Traditionally, I don't think yin actually uses a lot of props. They just say to just stop where your edge is, but props are really nice to use, so feel free to use them. Just reminding you that they're definitely not a necessity. As you come down to find that first edge, listen to your body. Be at a place that is, there's sensation, but it's not overly sensational. It's maybe 70%, just so that you can find that sweet spot where the breath can still flow. You're listening to your body. Focusing on your breath as your anchor. And 1 minute in, a couple more to go. 30 seconds remaining. Start to walk your hands back in, nice and slow. And you can position yourself back towards the front of the room, bringing those legs in. And we'll make our way down to our backs. And as you lie into your back, we're going to take a twist that might progress into a shape called cat grabbing its tail pose. The way we'll begin is with the right knee to the chest and the left leg long. Bring the right knee across and down to the left side of the room. And this might be where you stay, and you can stay here for the whole length of the twist if you want to. But to go into cat grabbing the tail, you would bend your left knee. Usually you have to do a little sit up, lift the head and the chest to look down, see where that left foot is, and grab it with your right hand. Then press the pinky edge of that left foot back down, roll your right shoulder down, and look over the shoulder towards the right side of the room. You can adjust your hips a little. I like to get the hips nice and stacked, so moving the bottom hip a little bit to the right, scooting it over a little bit. You'll feel your right hip aligns over that left hip more. And then just let go and breathe. There is one more variation to this pose. If you decide to take it at some point, be my guest. You're going to take the left hand to the right foot, and you're going to slide that leg straight. And that is the peak variation of cat grabbing its tail pose. You're rolling from the navel up to look over the right shoulder, twisting right, and from the navel down, twisting left. All the while trying to remember to breathe. slowly unravel yourself from that shape, arriving on your back, knees into the chest. Just give yourself a hug. Slide your right leg out. And cross your left knee over. And then you can choose, if you'd like, to take this shape a bit further or not. Maybe if one side is feeling a little more tender, you decide to back off. Maybe decide to go for it. Just listening to your bodies. Seconds. And slowly begin to come out. Take your time. Place your feet down onto the mat. Interlace your hands behind your skull. Let your thumbs extend down the sides of the neck so that you kind of have these little like supportive limbs going down to hold the neck. And then just lift your head. This will require a little bit of strength in your arms, but pull your head up and pull your chin to your chest. And just turn your head side to side a few times. And then release your head back down. As your head lands, we're going to do the next shape, which that next stretch I hope would prepare us for. If, however, this seems a little bit too precarious for your neck or you just don't want to do it, you can sit down and fold and touch your toes. So think Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold, both legs out. But if you're willing to go into this next shape, you're going to take your legs up towards the sky. And you're going to start to bring your toes up and over. It looks like a plow. Your chin is to your chest. You kind of walk your shoulders in a little bit so your upper arm bones are supporting you and your hands can relax at your mid-back or lower back. Because there's a lot of weight on your neck right now, one of the important cues is to not turn your gaze. So try not to be looking side to side at all right now. Just kind of keep your gaze right down the middle or close your eyes. If you want, you can bend your knees and let your knees rest at your forehead. And you can keep your legs straight. You can also place your knees on either side of your temples. So the shins eventually would rest on the floor on either side of your head. And just listen to your body. If you need to come out sooner than I cue you, then do that. And just lie on your back. This one isn't a full 4-minute hold. You're already got just a minute left here. It's a full 2 minutes. And take one more big breath in and out. And just start to roll down your spine again. Try to move out slow. And then you can just bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees open, and just rest your hands on your body. Supta Baddha Konasana, walk with the shoulder blades down the back if they rode a little high. Slight tuck of the chin to the chest. Just feel your body totally relaxed here. Reaching down, take a hold of the outsides of your legs and support your knees back into neutral. And then, I'm sorry if you have to do a little sit-up to do this, but we'll need our blocks for supported bridge. You can also use a bolster. Bring your feet to the floor, elevate your hips, and just place that block underneath the back of your pelvis. You can keep your feet on the floor or extend the legs. We'll do 4 minutes here. Close your eyes and just relax. Few minutes of holding this heart opener, start to shift your awareness to your heart space. And we'll close our yin practice before Shavasana with some gentle reminders of opening your hearts. Imagine for a moment that life itself is a kind of condition, a persistent, unavoidable condition that everyone experiences. We face pain, we face loss, disappointments, and hardships. These aren't just moments that we pass through, they are an intrinsic part of our human experience. But what if I told you that within this very condition, there exists a powerful remedy, and that remedy is love. Throughout history, philosophers and poets, spiritual teachers have spoken about love's healing power, its universal, transcendent of culture, language, and belief. But exploring this idea more deeply, that life, with all of its suffering, is a kind of condition and love is the cure. When we interpret life as a condition, it's not to suggest that life is inherently negative. Instead, it's a recognition that suffering, whether physical or emotional, is an unavoidable part of our existence. And like any condition, it can feel overwhelming and isolating. We often attempt to eradicate our suffering through external means, whether it's wealth or status, more possessions. Yet these are mere temporary reliefs. Here is the transforming truth. Love is not just a feeling or an accessory to life. It's the essential medicine that heals the wounds inflicted by life's hardships. Love is the purest form, compassion, empathy, connection, acceptance. Think of the times maybe when you've faced dark moments, a loss, a failure, disconnection. It's during these moments that love, whether from a friend, family, or even from within, acts as a healing balm, offering us comfort, reminding us that we are not alone. Love connects us to something greater than ourselves. It bridges the gap between pain and hope, despair and renewal. When we open ourselves to love, we begin to see beyond our suffering to the shared humanity that unites us all, teaching us forgiveness, patience, compassion, not only for others, but also for ourselves. It awakens our capacity for resilience and reminds us that even in our darkest hours, there is a seed of light nurtured by love, capable of growth and renewal. So in a world that often emphasizes the external solutions like money and power and success, let's remember the true healer is within us. The antidote to life's inevitable suffering is love, universal love, empathy, connection. So let's choose love in our daily lives. Let's be wound healers for others with our love. Because when we do, we transform the human experience from one of inevitable suffering to one of profound connection and hope. So while life may be the condition, love, sincere, unconditional, and boundless love is the cure. Begin to walk your feet back in. Planting your feet onto the floor and elevating your hips, sliding the block or the blankets out of the way, releasing to your back, and lying down for your final few moments in Savasana, absorbing the effects of your powerful and at the same time subtle Yin Yoga practice. Put the bolsters, if you have one, behind your knees. Maybe pull a blanket over your body. Take a moment to offer yourself true comfort, relax, and ease. And remind yourself that for these next few moments, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Relax and be still. Visualize your breath. As we begin to close this yin yoga practice, I invite you to start moving gently, small body parts, little by little. There's no rush, so please take your time. It's important to exit your yin practice gently and compassionately, and so you can initiate that when you feel ready to. Feel free to take as much time as you need. Thank you for joining me on the mat this morning.